So I guess I should just start off by saying welcome to Tor's Thoughts, episode 1. And obviously we had to get my number 1 on episode 1 because our conversations are lit, and that's all what Tor's Thoughts are about. I've got you guys to obviously send in a bunch of questions. It's going to kind of be relatively fluid. I'm not going overly structured with these because as soon as you kind of get in structure, you're getting rid of a lot of the organic kind of thought process. Something that both Emily and I have been very strong on in regards to conversations we've had on the past is anxiety and depression, the influence of social media. So there were a couple of questions that I thought we would use today to kind of just base the conversation around. So something that came in was, is social media ruining the current generation and future generations? Obviously. Sorry, we've got a camera here for YouTube and the camera's just
I'm not got any
going on walks. And then the other part of that question was, what are the consequences of life through social media in 15 to 20 years time, and should we be looking at solutions now? So I think it's, I mean, yeah, this conversation's kind of obviously going to go probably a little bit wild.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to start off with where we're at currently, bring ourselves back to the present, and how maybe we can talk about how social media is affecting us
right now
as individuals. So not as a generation, we're just talking about our own personal experiences.
Yeah. I mean, personally for me, social media works. But this is, you're coming from someone who is a freelance photographer.
Sorry guys, we've got a rolling away camera.
A freelance photographer, filmmaker, I have my own fitness business, and I'm also developing a personal brand. Social media works because it's free. It's easy to actually target the people that you want without having to pay for it.
Yeah.
So if you want to start up a business and stuff, the internet is so vast now and opens up so many doors. On that scale,
on the business side,
business side of it, I love it. Like, on the business side of it, personally, I only started social media in like 2014. So you think there's only 4 years. And I've gone from literally nothing to, I guess you could say, someone. I mean, guaranteed I don't have 54,000 followers, but
I don't have a mill either, so you know.
But you know, I've still gone through these things of like having my own opinion and someone telling me that I'm wrong, and then I'm like, but it's my social page and it's my opinion. Like, I don't know how that is wrong. So I get that side of it, and I also get that bullying through cyberspace, as they call it now, is terrifying.
Yeah. It's
terrifying what kids do to each other these days simply from words.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that, and I think, again, for me personally, I've kind of gone through a bit of a love-hate relationship with it in the past. I definitely, I will put my hands up and admit that when I first went on social media, it was to validate my self-worth. Like 100%. I was very insecure at the time. Social media was a tool for me to kind of put my best self forward. So I'd take a picture and sometimes be like, oh, it doesn't even look like me, but it looks good. Let me post that. Do you know what I mean? And then if people are commenting, it does. They say it's similar to like gambling or drinking in regards to the endorphins and dopamine that it kind of releases. So you do get this buzz from seeing your phone light up and your notifications going up or your followers going up. But then obviously you've got the reverse effects when that isn't then happening, and you put a picture forward that you think is really nice, or you write a quote, a caption that you think is really powerful, and it doesn't get seen. Or people just, you're like, is it not getting seen, or is it
or does no one give a shit?
No one give a shit? Does no one like it? Like, I think it can be quite difficult. So social media can be very powerful tool. Like, now I'm at a place where I'm like, do you know what, if someone doesn't read my shit or someone doesn't agree with my shit, cool, do you know what I mean? Like, that page is for me. But it's taken a long time to get to this point, and I know myself as I'm very strong-minded about my truths anyway. I mean, you are like, I mean, I remember when we first started speaking and stuff, I loved it because you were so opinionated. Like, if you believe in it, there's no one who's going to change your mind. And that's like what I freaking love about you. I think this is the thing as well. Like, I was listening. Here I go on a tangent. I was listening to a YouTuber the other day, this guru, and he was explaining about how belief is basically confidence without clarity.
Yeah.
So you can believe in something all you want, but if you haven't got the truth to back it up, it will only ever be a belief.
Yeah.
It's not something that you know. And the problem is, it's like you might be relatively confident that you're in a pitch black room, this is his example, not mine, before I take any credit. It's like you're in a pitch black room, and you're confident that there's people in front of you, but you haven't got the clarity to see them. So when you try and walk through, you're going to walk over them, or you're going to trip up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have the clarity, then you're going to be able to walk from one end to the other and not hit anyone.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, ask the question.
Yeah.
Where are you guys? So you can get the confidence and the clarity.
Yeah.
That's the problem with belief. You're going into something with the confidence and that clarity. So anyway, that was, like I said, a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, I mean, did you see the thing that Kanye West put out the other day?
Yeah.
About, oh yeah, and I posted it as well.
Yeah, you posted it.
That's how I saw it. Epic, but I think it's such a great idea, and I really hope that someone listens and it comes to fruition. He was basically talking about, obviously we can turn off comments, but it would be great if we were able to remove the follow account from our page, so people couldn't see how many followers you had. It wasn't based on that. And you could remove the likes, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're putting something out there, it shouldn't matter how many people like it. If people want to interact with you on it, then that's great. But a like doesn't validate your point.
No.
And then realistically, I understand from a marketing point of view, they want to know your reach and that kind of stuff. But you can still get those insights. You can send that to brands, but you don't need Tom, Jane, Harry and Charlotte to be able to see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that's one thing that I've noticed, especially on business, because obviously I operate like small businesses. With my Emerge Elite brand, actually me just being consistent, not really giving a shit that I only have 1,500 followers and stuff, like, by doing that and just being consistent and reaching out and actually giving people value has, in the last 3 months especially, shot up my sales.
But you know what, also I think you've just made a key point without even realising. I think when you start, because the reason why social media kind of changed direction is I used to post stuff that I thought like were good pictures of me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, do you know what I mean? When I then flipped up and thought at one point, I was like, what value am I adding to anyone's life when they scroll through my pictures? Yeah. Because for me, I found I was wasting so much time going through social media, and I'm like, these people are not adding value to my life at all. I'm literally, unless they're my friends, I don't really care about your life. Yeah. No offense, but I don't. Unless you're giving me inspiration in something. Yeah. Like, you might show, like, I understand why people follow other people who do workouts, because you might get a bit of an idea. Or you want to follow somebody whose lifestyle you really aspire to, or you just like the pictures they take. Like, at least have a reason. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Have a reason. So for me, I was like, I need to add some value, because if I'm not feeling overly confident about myself, I don't want to then not put out content. Yeah. Like, that's the wrong reason to be on social media in the first place. It's not about me personally. Yeah. I do it because I like to deliver a message to people, provide a different perspective on something, like
give value to people,
give value. So that was
show people that they're normal.
But when you do that, but once you start switching your mindset into what you're giving out, then kind of the validation piece disappears. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, the algorithm of Instagram and stuff like that drives me freaking mad. But it's not because I'm like, I want more likes. It's because I want my message to be reached by more people. Yeah, but also you want it to, like, the whole thing about, you know, because I've read up on it, I've done like a whole like research study on it and everything, and it's like the way that Instagram is working at the minute is that if your picture does well in the first half an hour, that's how it stays up there. So then you've got to think about the time that you're putting it out, what it says, your hashtags and all this kind of stuff, and I get that. But that's why these, full offence, these girls who just literally put a booty picture after one another and stuff like that, and that's why they do well. Because they'll have those people who are just kind of like, oh yes, bang. And then you could have someone who spent an hour writing out a caption that means a lot to them, with a picture that means a lot to them. And but then can we blame the people who are posting that? Well, no, because
to be honest, I've said it before, and I've actually, one picture I've posted of myself, which is weird enough anyway, got me a lot of traction, which was me in my own branded t-shirt with my legs completely bare. I was in little booty shorts because I just worked legs, pulling it down in a semi-sexual way. That got me 3 sales from that one photo.
But this is the thing,
and that's not me, you know me.
Yeah.
That's not sort of the picture that I post. And that was when I first started the brand.
But this is the thing as well, like I think we can all be quite quick to shoot down these girls and guys who are making a quick buck from posting a bit of flesh, or who are getting good followers from posting what we may perceive as vain pictures, or for not adding value to someone's life. But at the same time, if they've got validation in themselves anyway, and they're just posting it because they know that they're going to get some money off the back of this, and that's what they want. If that's what they want, then that's fine, because it's the same thing that, so you go on the back foot of that, and people are like, oh, I can't believe like all these people are doing booty pictures and doing better than me. But you'll watch Geordie Shore, or you'll watch that reality TV show where that person makes so much money because you physically just like to watch what they do. Exactly, that's just the way that society is.
That is the way that society is.
And you know what? But I'm kind of like, is for a bit of flesh, depending on the person and whether you know that that's just kind of how they are. Like for me, I love the female form. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I mean, in regards to, I think, finding a solution for those that are going to be damaged in 15 to 20 years time, I think something like Kanye said would help. I think they're aware of the amount of damage that social media is currently having the ability to do. And I think there will be changes anyway coming in over the next couple of years. I think
changes are going to happen anyway. Because now that you can buy 10,000 followers for like a tenner, you know, like you can buy that following now. So I think Instagram and Twitter and all these things, they're going to shut down on that platform, and it's going to go that way because their numbers are not going to matter anymore. And I do think that would be a very, very good thing to do, and that's not me just sitting here
I mean, the only thing I will say in backlash to that is
this is why our conversations go well.
For real, is in regards to the marketing piece, because apart from word of mouth, social media is going to be the next biggest piece of marketing. Do you know what I mean? We all know that. And it's like, recently I was talking to Haley this morning about some of the beauty bloggers, so they've got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. They're getting paid like 60k a video. And you're like, 60k for one damn video? But at the same time, they've got an organic reach of over 1 million people. If they're going to put that ad on TV, they're going to be paying even more than that.
And also, you think about that, like, that's 60k, you may think that that's a lot, but if you bought that product, if you bought that 30 quid product and it actually only cost them about 8 quid to make, put the maths together.
Exactly.
You know, it's better to pay one individual 60,000 and get like crap tons of revenue from that than put it on TV where we don't even need to watch the adverts anymore.
Exactly.
So what's the point of putting it on TV?
Exactly.
Because not as many people are going to see it.
No, for real. So I think from that point of view, that's why numbers are still important. Numbers will remain to be important. They have to be important because that's where the money is being made. In regards to social media, it's through marketing. Whether that's through businesses or through personal brands.
Well, to be honest, personal brand is a business. If you market yourself, then you are a business.
So I think numbers are going to be an element, but I think, for me, do you know what I'd love is if they had, you know, that on some things you have to get yourself verified. I don't mean blue tick verified, like you have to be in the paper, but like you have to send in a picture of yourself before you're verified. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that you know that that's that actual person's account. So that avoids the catfishing point of view, but also from the point of view, where was I going on this tangent? Age. I think you should be for 18-year-olds and over. Unless approved, or even 16 to be fair, but there needs to be a kind of limit, because I think that's the biggest problem. It's going to be for these, I don't even know what generation we're on, XYZ,
young
millennial, whatever generation it currently is.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, there's going to need some help for them.
I think there is. I think that's why, like, obviously being Mental Health Awareness Month and stuff, you know, like, this is where a lot of problems come from. Is by, I know for safekeeping that having your 12-year-old have a phone so they can contact you. Believe me, I had a phone at 12 years old because my mum wanted to make sure that I got home. But now they are so wrapped up in those phones.
But this is, I had this conversation the other day because I've never had a TV in my room. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I completely back my parents on that one, in hindsight. But in regards to phones, could you let your kid go to school and say that they couldn't use social media and stuff when all of their peers are on social media? Because you could just be causing just as much issues from not allowing them. It's really a bit of a catch-22.
Well, I think any situation that you think about in that retrospect is a catch-22, because obviously not being in the know could make you a loser. But I also think at the same point, like, I've already done a video on this before. So a friend of mine, when just before she passed away, she messaged me because she loved social media and everything like that, but the reason that she's not here anymore is because of it. And she said the worst part about it was that everyone was telling me to stop listening to them, stop listening to those voices and all that kind of stuff. And she said the worst thing is when you're reading it on your phone, you're not reading it in their voice. You're reading it in your own. And this is where, like, I just think that generation, 12 years old, should not.
But then, is that more a point of, I feel like social media is the one who keeps taking the brunt. The brunt? Is that the right word? The rut?
The rut.
No, still not the rut. Still don't feel like it's the wrong context. But social media is taking the brunt.
There you go.
The brunt of all the blame. But the fact is, do you know what? We need to just take responsibility.
No, we do need to take responsibility.
And that's why I think as humans we need to be more conscious about the content we put out.
Yeah.
Whether you are earning money or not, be a little bit more mindful of what we're portraying.
Yeah.
Help kids understand kind of what they can be bringing to the table. Like, it's not just all about this.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same about everything, because, like, regardless of whether we had these objects or not, this thing still happens. Yeah. You know, regardless of whether it's face to face. I mean, when I was 12 years old, we had MSN.
Yeah.
And the amount of, like, because I got bullied in school and everything, and it's not a huge but that was where people got you. But I would have to accept that person to speak to me for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Which I allowed. As 12 years old, I didn't understand what was going on as much. Obviously now, if someone comes up to me and goes, I'm going to send you a really bad message, I'd be like, yeah, see you later.
Yeah. But then I think the hardest thing is like when you're in school as well, you know you've got to face that person.
Yeah.
So even if you don't accept them, they're going to find a way to get to you.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you've got your IG on private, they go into archive now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, guaranteed though. Like, this is why I wrote a post about it this morning. This is why I think, like, it's more what we do. We can't change social media. I don't want to change it, if I'm being completely honest. But it's what we do with it. So if you want to become a very negative person with it, that's your issue.
We've got to take some responsibility.
Yeah, but you have to take responsibility for it.
Well, this is because I remember someone said this, and I've stood by it since. They're like, oh yeah, but all I see is all these, like, we're just going to body image for a minute. All these skinny girls on there with the big booties and these big lips and da da da. I'm like, but is that not who you're following?
Yeah, that's how you're choosing to follow.
And that's who you're
choosing to get annoyed at.
If you're going into the explore page, that's based on the things that you're searching. So for me, mine is filled with fitness and food and memes, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's what I look at. That's what I like. So, yeah, I mean,
I think people need to kind of stop giving social media such a bad rep without looking at what is actually going on. At the end of the day, you have a free will, and I know it's very, very difficult when you get sucked into something. It's very, very difficult.
And it's easy for us to say when we're strong-minded.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, I know, like I said, I wasn't always that way, and I used to use social media as a validation tool, and I used to compare myself to everybody else. And I would easily have sat there and said, yeah, but all these people are so perfect, and that was down to me, and that was part of my personal journey, and I had to take a step back and really assess myself and learn about who I was.
Yeah.
So I think putting social media aside for the next generations and for our generation is more about taking the time out to kind of learn who we are, knowing that, do you know what?
Stop.
You can, where was I going? You can switch your social media off at any time, or turn your phone off, and I think that's what we all need to get better at. It's not about not necessarily using social media, but it's monitoring the amount of use that you have, because that reduces the impact, the social impact, the impact that it has on you. Yeah. So I became very aware, even recently, as in last week, how much time I would spend checking my DMs, checking my Snapchat, checking my email. And to be fair, I did this because I'm so shit at communication, so I was really trying to make more of a conscious effort. Yeah. But then I realised, I was like, that doesn't mean you need to be on there 24/7 and respond straight up. Like, you're good, T. So I was like, if you just put your phone down for half an hour, you're going to be okay. So I literally put it down, put it away, and I would go and I did a little bit of yoga. I did a little bit of like reading. I watched some YouTube videos. Went and made some food. Like now, when it's my lunch, I put my phone away for an hour. My phone's gone, because it was becoming too attached to me. Yeah. And that became my reality.
It becomes a habit.
It becomes my reality because I'm living through my phone. I'm not even aware of my surroundings, because I'm like, and I'm replying to people and whatever. Yeah. So
but it's like, I love the reference that you made before, because it is the dopamine and stuff like that. It is the fact that you can't deny that when you go onto your phone, and even if you're looking at a funny cat video, or if you're looking at the fact that your first Instagram post got over 1,000 likes, makes you feel good. And sometimes your reality doesn't. Yeah. And that is.
But are we using social media as a cover-up for that?
I think some people do. Yeah. I'm not saying everyone does. You know, the vast majority might not.
I think the vast majority is just addicted.
Yeah. But it's the same. Like, it's funny because we can laugh and we can joke about it by the fact that when you can watch X Factor, and then in that break moment, everyone will, 1, pick up their phone, 2, probably tweet about it.
Or Facebook status.
Yep. And 3, not watch any of the adverts. So me as a business person, it's like, great, I'm going to hit on those little parts.
But do you know what? Someone even made a point the other day. If you're in a meeting, right, more corporate world, neither of us in the corporate world anymore. I very much was part of the corporate world before. I used to do investment. And I remember you'd go into a meeting and you'd sit there and you'd be like, and then the meeting would be about due to start. So meeting starting, you're like, okay, cool. And then your phone's on the table. You've got your phone on the table. And then you might even turn it over. Do you know what I mean? You might turn it over. You probably turn it over face down. And then when there's a little bit of a break, first thing you do, pick up your phone, check emails. You don't sit down and go to the person next to you like, oh, so...
How's your day?
Yeah, or...
I heard your brother was ill last week.
Exactly.
I know exactly what thing you're going from.
Exactly that. Like...
Basically, that phone, it's actually a psychologically true fact. If you put that phone on the table face up, it means you don't give a shit about the person that you're talking to. So if you ever go into a business meeting and someone sits there with their phone on the table, they're not actually fully engaged with you. No. It's why with me, my phone usually stays... I mean, usually I have it in my pocket or something or anything like that, but you know, we have watches, you know, time is still available in different things. It's like people who put alarms on their phone. You know, but you know, if you are really that bad with your phone, we're right next to IKEA. You can get one for £5. Get an alarm clock.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. Like I just...
But
I think that's phones, not even social media, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, it's phones in general, but it's also, it's like, it's your, you know, like if you're, it's incredible. It's like if you're sat there with the person that you love, or, you know, like your parents or something, you should give them your time. That is the one thing that you give them,
but
no one else is
getting. Do you know what makes me laugh, right? We all can sit there and say about how valuable time is, and it's a conversation that's having a lot, like, being talked about a lot more about time is the most precious thing that we have.
Yep.
So don't waste your time with people that don't deserve it, this and that and the other. Yet we're more than happy to waste our time texting people just because we won't see them, but we're okay with wasting our time texting them, or watching their stories, or reading their posts, or having a little stalk on Instagram. Like, why are we so okay with wasting our time through a device, as long as we're not wasting it face to face with them? Time is time. Like, it's a linear thing. Well, if you believe that. That's a whole different topic. Do you know what I mean? But you can't go backwards on it.
No. But it's also, this is probably going to come across as a very egotistical thing right now, where people say that I'm crazy because I work 60 hours a week, run three businesses, and I still keep up my fitness life, my social life, and sat with you right now. And people are like, you're crazy. It's like, how do you fit all that in? I was like, because I wake up, and if I am going to work, I will dedicate that time to work, and I will be very, very honest with the people around me. I'll go, I am off my phone now for 2 hours. Don't contact me, don't anything, blah, blah, blah. My poor girlfriend, I'm like, just, this is my time. But then I'm able to go to the cinema with her. I'm able to go for a walk with her and actually be present, instead of thinking, didn't send that email off to the supplier.
No.
I don't think about that way, and it just means like
you dedicate your time to whatever the task at hand is. We
all have 24 hours. It just depends how you use it. If you're sat on your phone, I mean, you are right now.
But you're not wasting your time.
Yeah, but if you're sat on your phone, and I love funny cat videos, it's a thing.
Dogs in Boots is one of my faves.
And it's like, you know that's 5 minutes you're not getting back. So if you have done everything that you need to do for that day, then absolutely fine. Go and watch those cat videos. If that's how you want to relax, but you know that you got shit done, you wouldn't be complaining. Yeah. People who are complaining need to shut up and actually do what they need to get done.
I'm one of those people. That's not even me trying to be banterful. That's not me trying to banter. Like, it's a fact. Like, I'm bad. I'm really bad at procrastination. I am bad with utilizing my time. I go to sleep extremely late. I get up late. So yeah, I mean, I am trying to change things.
Okay, I need to go get my girlfriend.
Oh, so we're gonna call a day with this video. But we've got an idea of the conversation. Like, you understand where Tours Thoughts is kind of going. I'd appreciate kind of any feedback. Obviously, this one we have cut a little bit short, but you guys get the gist of where we were going with it all. So,
it will continue at some point.
It will continue. We'll have some other topics. So thank you for tuning in regardless. We love you, we appreciate you, and get off your phone.